So my daughter used to believe that there was a single white butterfly that would follow her everywhere. And it was so beautiful that she thought that. And the day that she realized there was more than one white butterfly was a very sad day. It was the day the magic died. But I'm going to go back real quick and just kind of talk about watching her and experiencing her worldview when she felt that. And it was around mid 2020. We left Los Angeles, did not want to leave, but we had to move across the country, and we went to mid upstate New York. And in the apartment that we were living in during the period of time that we lived there, there was a beautiful, little like flowers, bushes, everything out in our front. And there was these little, I don't even know if they were butterflies, to be honest, but she at that time, I think, was 5 or 6. And one day she said, "There's a white butterfly, Daddy, that follows me everywhere, and it's my white butterfly." And it became this recurring thing. We would go to the park, and there'd be her white butterfly had followed her there. We went camping, and she saw her white butterfly. And I remember once we were driving into the car, and there was a white butterfly that had happened to like fly right beside us on the street. And she was like, "My white butterfly is following us." And it was so beautiful because there was this like innocence to it of thinking that there was only one. And I loved it. And we would of course be like, "That's it, that's your butterfly." And we would like, just really just kind of like give her that magical moment and allow her to live in that magical world where there was a butterfly, a singular butterfly that followed her. And this lasted a little bit of time. I can't remember how long, to be honest, maybe a month or 2 or so, but I'll never forget, man. It was so sad. There was one day we were standing in our front yard, and all of a sudden she saw 2 butterflies flying right beside each other around a flower or something. And I'll never forget, she turned to me and she was like, "Daddy, I think there's more than one white butterfly." And I was like, "Oh no." I was trying to play it off, but like they were freaking, they were there, dude. Of course, like she saw it, and you could just see like the magic just kind of leave her face. And it was such a sad moment because you want, as a father and as a parent, to have your children just like live in that freaking magical world as long as possible. And she was in it, man, and she loved it. And during that period of time also, we'd bought like a larva or something of whatever, and they had like raised, my son and daughter raised some butterflies, and it came up like this thing that they grew in, and then we released them all, and it was like this beautiful thing. But like she was so certain. And it's really sad because as she's getting older and as my son is getting older, this was the first year also where she did not believe in Santa, and she was kind of in on it with us, and she would help hide the elves for my son. My son's still a freaking hardcore believer. He is all about it. Santa is coming down that chimney. Like he's still a believer. But it's so sad when you kind of like you watch the magic fade from them, and you want to find it in other ways and bring it in other ways to them. And it's kind of an analogy from my life as well. And I've been talking a lot about getting older and a lot about like trying to find my purpose and how things are changing as I'm starting to look older and starting to feel older, and just like my career is evolving. I mean, I'm still doing my thing, but like my career is evolving, and it's just the freaking reality of the world. And trying to keep that magic within my life as well. Not only am I trying to protect the magic for my children, but I want to protect it for myself. I don't want to lose that hope, that like dream that there is this magical moment. There's something out there. The difference is I know I have to work for it. I have to freaking like put in the work, remind the world that I exist to get the work. And sometimes that's not fun, but it's just the reality of it. But with your children, you really want to maintain that as long as possible. And it's tough now in certain ways. With my daughter, she gets older. She's about 11 and a half now. And like I said, doesn't believe in Santa anymore. I'm the tooth fairy. She caught me one night putting the money under the pillow, and I still play it off, but like she doesn't believe it anymore. She's in on the joke in that one too. She's like, "I hope the tooth fairy brings me some money." But it's cool, like sometimes you can play into that. But I think where I want to go with this is that as parents, it is our like dream and our desire to have our children live within that dream world and live within that magical world where they have a white butterfly that follows them. They have, friends, magical friends that they can play with. And when that starts to fade away, and you can see at that moment where I visibly saw in her face where the realization hit, and I was there, and it was such a sad moment, but I'm also kind of glad I got to experience it and be there with her. But yeah, for myself as well, she's 11, I'm 48, and I don't want her to lose the magic, and I don't want myself to lose the magic either. And sometimes I do lose the magic, it's just freaking life, man. It's tough sometimes, but I think if I can somehow continue to like push my daughter and push my son to have hopes and dreams in their life and continue to just instill in them like the world is freaking magical no matter what. And with me, if I can just remember that as well, I think that'll be a good thing and be helpful. If they can see me living that way, hopefully it'll instill that in them as well.